Hi, I'm Dr. Avi, and I'm a dentist. In this video, I'm going to be talking to you about a corporate dental associateship that I had. I feel like it's helpful to pull the curtain back on dental associateship so that way you have a better idea of what to expect. Use my tips and learn from my mistakes so that way you can make the most of your opportunities. So you're watching part 9 of a series. If you haven't seen parts 1 through 8, go back and watch them now and come back right here. There's a lot of stories, so you need to go check those out. So if you watch part 8, you know that I left the opportunity because I was being limited on what procedures I could offer. I wanted to implement clear aligners into the practice, but the owner didn't let me because they didn't think it was profitable. This pushed me over the edge and I needed to make a change. My wife and I ended up leaving the state and we found an opportunity in Austin, Texas. I had been out of school for about 2 years now and I had enough confidence to really get myself going. I was still learning, but I wanted to keep doing more. I wanted to level up as a dentist. And at this point, I had already invested myself in continuing education and I just wanted to start doing procedures. I wanted an opportunity that was going to allow me to spread my wings as a clinician and fly. So I had no ties to Austin. So I started looking for jobs on Indeed. I applied for opportunities that were available, but then I also took it a step further. I started cold calling every office in Austin just based off their websites. This is a good strategy for finding opportunities, but it's going to take some time and a lot of effort. I think I called like 20 practices in total. If you're choosing to go this route when you're looking for a job, all you need to do is tell them that you're a dental associate and you are looking for an opportunity to practice as an associate. Ask them if they're hiring and ask them if they can give your contact information to the owner. They'll either say that they're looking or they say that they won't be looking. If they're looking, make sure that you follow up with them a week later to make sure that your information got passed along to the owner. Another resource that I tapped into to find a job was dental supply reps. At the time, my cousin had worked for Henry Schein, and I asked him if he knew of any reps in the Austin area. He did know a rep and he put me in contact with. I spoke with the rep and I told him a little bit about me and what I was looking for in a practice. And I asked him if he knew of any opportunities available. He had a practice in mind and he said he'd pass my information along. A few days later, I got a text from a dentist in Austin and they told me that they wanted to have an interview with me on the phone. On that call, he told me about the practice and he also told me what he was looking for in an associate. The practice was an office that was part of a DSO. A DSO is a dental support organization, also known as corporate dentistry. And they wanted an associate that was willing to take care of an underserved and long-standing patient population. The perks were pretty sweet. They consisted of a yearly CE stipend of $2,000, 401k contributions, health insurance, a hands-on implant training course with Nobel, a 4-day work week, a Cert and Itero, and they'd be paying for my licensing fees. I mean, this is the sweetest gig I've ever heard of. I didn't even think it was. After I got off the phone, I called the rep and I said, hey, what is the deal with this practice? This deal sounds sweet. He said the owners were good people and that this was a real opportunity. I trusted him and I accepted the position and my wife and I moved down to office. So some things about this office. For one, I never toured the office except for my first day of work. I literally only saw pictures off of Google and they weren't the most flattering, mainly just because the office was old. But the good thing about old offices is they usually have loyal, long-standing people. This was the case with this practice. The practice was also gigantic. There were 12 ops total and like 20 staff members when fully staffed. I started working with my team, which consisted of 2 hygienists, 2 assistants, and a treatment coordinator. I hit the ground running trying to get to know my team. I really wanted to get the energy up and rally them around the new chapter that was about to start. I feel like it's very important to connect with the team because when you lean on each other in times of need, it's a lot easier for those connections to happen if you already established a relationship with them. Not only did I have a great team to start, but I really felt like I was hitting my stride as a dentist. I was doing treatment that just felt more fulfilling. I tried during CIREC. I started placing implants, which by the way, are a freaking adrenaline rush. I love doing surgery. I also dove headfirst into doing clear aligners and I found a lot of success with it. I started off doing 50 cases in my first 6 months, and I really felt like I was making a difference in my patients' lives. Another thing that I was doing was connecting with my patients. Yes, people in Texas are very nice and welcoming, but these patients were super appreciative of the care that I was giving them. Honestly, it felt nice to be valued in this way. At this point, I'm 6 months in and the owners clearly held up their end of the bargain. I was super grateful for the opportunity. I had full clinical autonomy as a clinician and support to do whatever I wanted. So remember when I said this practice was part of a DSO? Well, DSOs have their pros and cons. I made a video about that, so you guys should go check it out. So a big thing about DSOs and a big issue that people have is they get hung up on production-based goals. Some people feel like having a production goal is bad because they don't think you should focus on how much money you're needing to produce and that you should only focus on patient care. I agree with the part about focusing on patient care. But what makes dentistry tricky is our livelihood is directly dependent upon how much money we make. And to ensure a consistent monthly paycheck, I think it's good to track and forecast how much money you're going to make. Some dentists let their production goals dictate the treatment that they do. I am not one of those dentists. I like having goals because of what a goal is. It's something to strive for, and it helps me from getting complacent with my diagnosis. A lot of dentists get complacent over time, and they won't diagnose work that's needed just because they don't feel like it. It sucks to hear that, but it's true. I know it is because it's happened to me before. The monthly goal helped me stay focused, and it kept me motivated to provide high quality care to my patients. Another reason why I was motivated to hit my goal is because the DSO give a bonus if I hit the production goal. This was amazing because I was able to earn extra income by just doing what I was normally doing for my patients. This incentive is an incredibly powerful reward, and I really believe it should be more common in the profession. Other commission-based professions offer bonuses and goals, so why shouldn't dentistry be any different? In case you didn't know, dentistry is commission-based, meaning you get paid a percentage of the work that you do. The more you do, the more you make. The less you do, the less you make. This makes for a very interesting dynamic considering that this is a healthcare profession. Since we're on the topic of production, I just want to let you know I was able to double my production by offering clear aligners to my patients. I found a lot of early success with clear aligners, and it completely changed my life. I felt more fulfilled when practicing. I felt like I was making that impact on my patients' oral health, and I was making more money. After experiencing this feeling, I just wanted to share it with every other dentist out there. I started teaching my colleague at the practice. He had been practicing dentistry for 20 years and he never offered clear aligners before, and I kind of took him under my wing. Once he got rolling, he did not look back. He said that he wished he started offering clear aligners earlier in his career because of how great of a service it is for patients. Being able to teach someone how to do something to improve their quality of life and their patients' quality of life felt super rewarding to me, and I wanted to do more of this. So I reached out to corporate and I asked them if we could create a formal role for me to spend a little bit more time coaching up other dentists. I thought this would benefit everybody because teaching is something that I enjoy. More doctors would get confidence to offer clear aligners in the DSO, and more patients would get the treatment that they need. Corporate found value in what I was proposing, but they felt like it was a big undertaking on my end and would take up a lot of time. They also didn't have the capacity to create this role for me at that time, and they just wanted me to focus on treating my own patients. They offered to host lectures for the dentist that I would put on throughout the year, but nothing more than that. This was unfortunate because I was super pumped to get the ball rolling on this. I had an entire step-by-step outline on how I would implement this and how I would coach up other dentists. I was so excited. So this moment was another pivotal moment in my career, and surprise, surprise, my wife came to my aid. She saw how badly I wanted to do this, and she offered a solution for me. She proposed that I start my own clear aligner consulting company and help dentists on my own. This was exactly what I needed to hear, and I jumped at the opportunity to create my own clear aligner consulting business. So creating the consulting business required some time on my end, but it's something that I had because the practice was pretty slow. Ever since the transition and ownership of the DSOs, the number of patients coming in completely dropped. I worked with my colleague and corporate to try to figure out why was there such a drastic change in patient flow. We had determined it was a snowball effect of all the employee turnover from earlier in the year, and there was poor front office management. This all happened months before the acquisition, and we were all paying the price for it on the back end. There were several variables that played into the situation, and it really was unfortunate. So with the state of the practice and this new opportunity that I created where I needed to put in time and energy, I put in my notice to leave the practice. I did sign a contract stating that I had to give 90 days notice, which is extremely long. The caveat was if they found a replacement for me, I could leave before the 90 days. Well, they never found a doctor to replace me, so I had to serve out the full 3 months. At the time, I didn't have another job lined up, so I wasn't too concerned because I was also spending time focusing on building up my consulting business. So let's assess this entire experience. This was probably the best associateship I have ever had in my entire career. Like phenomenal. I grew as a dentist. I found my passion for dentistry again. I grew as a leader. I developed confidence and truly elevated my abilities as a clinician. Some of the unfortunate things that happened at the office was just too big for one person to solve. It was just really hard to get the entire staff on the same page. There were always disputes and drama amongst a 20-person staff. And staff turnover was so hard to manage during this time because it was a constant cycle of being short staffed, asking team members to do more, them getting burnt out, them leaving, us being understaffed again. And it was just terrible. In this experience, I also got to experience what it's like to be a part of a DSO transition. I could make an entire video about what it looks like to go through a DSO transition from an associate's perspective. But let's get back to the reflection. With all the ups and downs, I learned so much and I'm very grateful for this opportunity. If you're at a DSO or you're considering joining one, my advice is you really need to know what you're getting into and set your expectations accordingly. Maximize the opportunities that come with a DSO. Things like 401k, CE stipend, and front office support. Use this time to really grow as a clinician. After watching these videos, I'm sure you've seen that no dental associateship position lasts forever. You need to go into every new opportunity with that mindset and have an exit strategy so that way you protect yourself. And you need to make the best decision for you because you don't owe anyone anything. If you enjoyed this video, please drill that like and subscribe button and share it with anyone you think may benefit. If you want to know about my next associateship, it was probably the most unique experience I've ever had. Check out part 10 to find out. Thanks.